ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angry faithful of all ages, we are 10 seconds early. Now, is that going to be indicative of how this program is going to go tonight? Probably not. But welcome to Nerd Sports 148. David, again, is not in attendance tonight. Well, he is in spirit. He's just not able to be on the show. We were going to try to do it last night, but I was on the road. I was actually about 7:30. I was coming off of 45, trying to get onto 288 last night in downtown Houston. So I was still an hour away from the house. Yeah. Extended weekend. I had the boys for an extra day, and then on top of all of that, I wouldn't have been prepared anyway because I was still watching the Daytona 500 that got postponed until yesterday. We'll get into that here in just a few minutes. Normally, Chris, David, and I, we normally pre-show, we kind of get caught up and we talk about the ins and outs of life. Yeah, I started on the carnivore diet last weekend. Thursday last week. And yeah, that's
I just want to point out how mature I'm being by not making any jokes about you having just tons of meat in your mouth. I want to point out that I'm
I appreciate you, man. I really do. I appreciate you for that. I mean, I love me some bread. Okay. I love pasta. However, my 46 years around the sun so far, I have never been this heavy. The other day I bought a scale last week, and that was probably either the biggest blessing in the world or the worst thing I could possibly do.
That was your first mistake.
Well, I got on the scale. No, I got on the scale that morning, and the next morning, because you're not supposed to weigh yourself at night. You're supposed to weigh yourself first thing in the morning.
Right.
It said 250 pounds. And I'm like, oh shit, I've never been that heavy in my entire life. So, with the knee being what it is for, right now, I looked at my wife and I said, I got to do something. So,
I've suggested that we, that I do the carnivore diet, because she said that her and her sister had tried this thing before, and, that they felt better while they were on it. And, they were actually, losing a little bit of weight then. And I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot because, I like beef, chicken, pork, you give fish on this thing, and eggs, butter, salt, that kind of thing. I just can't have any like sugars, carbs right now. And then I'm working out a plan to where I'm eventually going to get back into the gym and start, lifting heavy things and, getting back into shape. Because the idea is I'd like to get back down to like 215, 220, something manageable. That way, when I conceal carry out in public, it's I don't have to get one of those like girdle holsters,
I was gonna say you don't need the fat boy extender.
Yeah, you don't need the holster claw from we the people holsters. But yeah, pleasant surprise over the weekend. The yours truly, Mr. Again, graduated by the skin of his teeth. Had a physics exam last week, and dude, I scored a 95 on it.
No way.
Yeah, actually, no, actually, I scored a 98, and I got one of the top 3 scores in the class, and I was like, "What? Hold on." I almost wanted to be like Al Gore and just demand a recount, but I was like, "No, I'm going to accept the results of this election." And I thought I was being rather magnanimous. So, yeah,
Like an adult does.
yeah, like an adult does. And then in the meantime, my stepson, he didn't get as good of a grade. He still passed. He just didn't get as good of a grade. And he's like looking at me like, "What? Are you serious?" I mean, because he's like 21. So, I'm more than twice his age. And, I mean, like he kicked my tail in quantitative reasoning last semester, right? I mean, I got a C in it. And
C's get degrees, man.
I know C's and D's get degrees, but I'm in the National Honor Society. So, I mean, I'm still carrying a 3.07 GPA right now. And I'd like to keep that, if not bump that number up a little bit. It's, it's kind of a rookie thing. And, so I decided that I was going to, The Power of Positive Imaging, a book written way back in the day by a guy named Norman Peale. So I decided that I was going to approach this semester with more of a positive can-do attitude, kind of break that cycle of being just your stereotypical dumb grunt. And I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go into physics with this really like focused attitude. And I started taking some of the Alpha Brain that Joe Rogan pimps all the time.
Yeah.
See, look, David, look, I mean, I know that David's still in here, but I've already mentioned 2 other podcasts, and we've only been on the air for like 6.5, 7 minutes. So, but I've been popping that stuff like crazy, dude, like 2 in the morning. And dude, I'm like,
is it helping?
Yeah, actually it does, man. It gives you energy, but not like jittery energy. It's a nootropic is what it is. And so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to harness my my inner Bradley Cooper, and I'm going to up the dosage a little bit.
Ooh, how did that work out for him?
Yeah, but this isn't NCT. Right. And the only reason I had the idea of upping the dosage on it is because I was listening to Rogan's podcast the other day, and he was interviewing a friend of his that was in town, hitting the comedy club circuit there in Austin. And apparently the company that makes Alpha Brain came out with a new line. It's called Alpha Brain Black Label, and it's supposed to be like more potent.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan, he's sitting there talking about it, and he's like, yeah, like what I'm going to have a scientist or a physicist or astronomer on, somebody like that. This is stupid smart. I don't want to sit there and look like a drooling Neanderthal, so I take 6 of those bad boys and I pop them before the show.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay, all right. And I don't think I'm going to pop 6 at one time because, I don't want to be sitting there in class and all of a sudden, my stomach starts gurgling and I'm like the dude at the end of Van Wilder, where he just takes his shit right in that trash can in the region.
Or you would discover a 4th dimension, possibly even a 5th.
Right.
No,
Right.
Just saying, no balls.
I would have a conversation with the koala from Lower Decks.
There you go, Sal.
Yeah.
Just saying, you never know.
Transcended. I didn't think transcending was going to hurt this bad. I don't like it anymore. All right, so
I want to go back.
right. Let me see here. Position players have been reporting. They've been kind of straggling in for spring training around the majors. Let me see here. 2024 spring training. The first game is actually in 2 days. It's going to be the Dodgers and the Padres. It's funny because Friday the 23rd, with the Red Sox at least, they always kick off spring training by doing a doubleheader with one against Northeastern University and the other one against UMass, right? And it's been a Red Sox tradition for going back 20, 30 years, at least. And you're like, oh well, how is that fair? It's a major league club beating up on.
Yeah, but it's an exhibition game,
right? Yeah, it's just but these are college kids, a majority of which are not going to see the majors. They're not going to see the minors. I mean, they're gonna graduate their prospective schools or respective schools rather, and then they're going to go on about their lives. They're going to fill jobs. They're going to use their degrees and try to spend the next 20 years paying off student debt.
right?
But it gives them an opportunity to play basically at a major league facility,
Right?
and they're gonna get to see major league pitching.
Yeah. It's like the art of baseball playing.
Yeah. I mean, well, no.
Fair. I know.
let me see. It's spring training. It's spring training, so you're not going to have your starters, your regular season starters, starting this game. I mean, you're going to have your non-roster invitees. You're going to have your guys. They're going to get cut before the first week is over, right?
Yeah.
So I would equate this. I would equate this game to JROTC.
Okay.
Playing college ROTC. There's still that talent differential.
Yeah, that's fair. And
they still get that experience, because I mean these are amateur athletes playing against professionals.
Yeah, and you got the JROTC kids looking up to the.
Yeah, you get that one kid who has been in JROTC all 4 years. He was the hard charger. I mean, he was the guy who actually used the word "hua" in high school.
Unironically.
Yeah, unironically. I mean, he wasn't being a hipster about it because, I mean, unlike Robert Downey Jr., he went full hua, right?
He really
yeah, he really did. He went full retard, and it was glorious. Just so to speak.
One word you could use, sure.
Yeah. Well, the Kelsey brothers like to use a word on their New Heights podcast. It's electric.
Electrifying.
It's electric. Yeah, it's. I mean, the atmosphere was electric. Yeah, you know, when you jumped out of the luxury suite in Buffalo with no shirt on and it's like 20 below, it was an electric atmosphere, dude. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
It really shocks the nipples, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know. So,
It's like
But-
rolling around in snow and then jumping in the hot tub.
yes,
Just
yes,
all
yes.
over tingle. Yeah.
Yes, it would be like
That hurts, by the way.
no, yeah, yeah, it does. It does. So does skydiving through a cloud.
Have not had the pleasure.
Yeah, dude, that kind of hurts.
I don't want to because that does sound
Ice
horrifying.
crystals, and if it's an actual rain cloud,
Oh, forget it. You're gonna be so.
for starters, it's illegal.
Is it really?
It's actually illegal to pass through a cloud.
Wow. I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to enforce it?
I think that when you go to schedule a jump, you actually have to file a flight plan with the FAA. You know, because obviously you have to get up there.
True. Yeah.
But the biggest reason why it's illegal is I think a lot of it is safety because you don't exactly know how deep those clouds are going to be when you come out on the other side. And depending on the density of that cloud, you may or may not be able to read your altimeter. So you might not be able to pull that shooting time.
That's
They don't exactly want people doing, you know, 9/11 half gainers out of a plane.
Damn it.
I know, you know, and I kind of broke my own rule right there because I had promised myself that I was never going to make a 9/11 joke.
That was pretty fucked up. No, that was that was a quality. That was a good one.
You know, I mean, if we were talking about cliff divers, then I would have used I would have referenced Greg Louganis.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you
Because
know,
that's just funny.
minus the AIDS.
Dude, don't be fucking with my good time, all right?
Right. Okay, so baseball, I mean, baseball's chugging along. I mean, everybody's getting back to where what you're going to start seeing is you're not going to see starters going 4 or 5 innings. Especially the starting pitchers, you're going to see them go an inning in the third, maybe 2 innings at the most, depending on how they're cruising. Position players, they're probably going to play 3 or 4 innings, and then it's just going to keep ramping up. And then by the time spring training is over and the teams break camp, you're going to start seeing the starting pitchers are probably still not going to go, but maybe 3 innings. Just because at that point now they're going to have that built-in rest. Because once you start hitting the regular season opening day, you've got your rotation.
Yep.
And so, but your position players, you're going to start seeing them play full games, unless it's just like a blowout or whatever. Then they're going to start rotating guys in and out. But I know that we've got the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League champions. Well, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I mean, the Cardinals won the Grapefruit League last year, and the Cardinals didn't even sniff the playoffs. So, I mean, there's a the Twins and the Red Sox, they're basically neighbors down there in Fort Myers. And every year they play each other for what they call the Commissioner's Cup. It's like the County Commissioner's Cup or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The Red Sox won that Commissioner's Cup last year handedly. And we saw how the regular season ended up. Now, albeit the Twins did make the playoffs, they won their division. That's no small feat, even though it is the trash Central Division. But the Red Sox, they didn't even have a winning season last year. So yeah, spring training is what it is. I mean, it's a welcome return to the familiar sights, sounds, and the smells that make up the game that we love. So
Like the song says, put me in, coach.
Yeah, put me in, coach. But to quote the late great is it Rob? No, Roy Schneider from the movie 2010. Nothing beats a hot dog at Wrigley Field that's been steaming since opening day.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Moving on. I didn't want to go into a whole lot of football news just because the Super Bowl was was on the 11th. And you're going to have your Walter Payton Man of the Year, your offensive and defensive Rookie of the Years, your MVPs and stuff like that. That stuff's kind of been beaten into the ground. We would just be kind of coming in on the back end. But when the Kansas City Chiefs held their Super Bowl parade for their fans, I don't want to get too political about it, but it just kind of seems convenient that anytime you have, especially in an election year, anytime that you have a large gathering of people, uh, whether it's a concert or a parade of some kind or just some random school, we just seem to see an uptick in mass shootings. And I don't necessarily think that this would be considered a mass shooting. One person died. Now, don't rake me over the coals with that, people, because one person is too many. Yeah, one person is too many.
Yeah.
But two men have been charged with murder in last week's shooting. One person was killed. 22 others were injured.
And they were tragic injuries.
Yeah, and I don't even really want to say their names, but just for pure reporting purposes, their names, Dominic Miller and Lindell Mays, are charged with second-degree murder and other counts. They've been hospitalized since the shooting. Now, Jackson County prosecutor Gene Peters Baker said during a news conference, officials declined to answer whether the men were being treated for gunshot wounds or other injuries. I'm willing to bet other injuries because they were getting tackled by fans.
Yeah.
And probably having dog shit kicked out of them.
Yeah. They were manhandled.
Yeah, they were they learned that day.
Yes.
So let's just kind of put it out there. Court records laid out a basic view of how the shootings unfolded. Now, the men did not know each other before the shooting. According to prosecutors, they were among several people arguing when Mays pulled his handgun first almost immediately. And several others did the same. So, to me, it's gang related. And when it happened, that's the first thing that I said. This has got to be gang related.
Yeah.
This is why we can't fucking have nice things.
Mm-hmm.
But police say it was Miller's gun that fired the shot that killed a woman. I guess they matched the forensics on it and everything. Online court records did not list attorneys who would comment on the men's behalf. Now, the Missouri State Public Defender's Office said applications for public defenders for the men had not yet been received by the Kansas City office. Now, the new charges come after two juveniles were detained last week on gun-related and resisting arrest charges. Now, authorities said that more charges are possible. Quote, I do want you to understand, we seek to hold every shooter accountable for their actions on that day, every single one, end quote. And that was by Peters Baker. So while we're not there yet on every single individual, we're going to get there. Police have said a dispute among several people led to the shooting, which happened even as 800 police officers patrolled the celebration. The 22 injured people range in age from 8 to 47. I think a lot of those, not necessarily were gunshot wounds. I think a lot of that was going to be trample damage.
Because there was a lot of running around.
Oh, there was. I mean, and that's the thing. When you get large crowds, I mean, you go into a theater, you yell fire, somebody's going to get hurt.
Exactly.
Because, those seats are, when you're in a confined area and, you're packed in there like sardines, things can go sideways really fast.
Yep.
And
That's when we start throw panic in there.
right, and it's not necessarily the fault of the police. It's not necessarily the fault of the event planners.
Mm-mm.
It's the fight or flight,
Yeah.
and and it takes a special degree of fucked up person to fight against that and go fight.
Yeah.
You and me, dude. Just saying.
Yep.
But a majority of humanity is going to flee, and that's we're not knocking that at all.
No, it's
Not everybody's wired to run toward the sound.
right.
You're just kind of
That's
throwing
a
that out
valid
there.
response. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's even some police officers out there. We're looking at you, Uvalde, who tend to run away from that stuff, and that's their job.
Mr. Acorn.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
I have not forgotten. I will never forget that. The
Oh
memes
my
that come
God.
out of that have been fantastic.
Did I understand that right? He pulled his pistol and shot the suspect in the back of the car.
Oh, brother. He didn't just pull his pistol. So and I realize this is off topic of what we were doing, but he was walking towards the suspect, and the lady that had made the complainant, had said that it's possible he's armed. He could have a silenced weapon or a suppressed weapon. So, because they saw like a tube or something sticking in his belt, so they thought he was armed. So
Right.
he's walking towards the front, from the front of his vehicle. As he passed the hood, the Acorn hits the hood, and he said that he felt. I know, 100%. So stupid. He said he felt an impact on his chest, and that his legs gave out. So he barrel rolled.
That
Like,
was your nuts.
He fucking combat
back up into your body, kid.
rolled twice, and then mag dumped into the back of the cruiser because he thought the suspect started firing at him. Right, his sergeant partner was at the door with the other woman. She turned around and unloaded. She didn't unload. She didn't mag dump, but she did fire rounds towards the vehicle. He's screaming the whole time, I'm hit, shots fired, I'm hit. And he runs around the corner. You see, he gets swarmed, and all these guys are like, he's like, I don't know, I got hit, I'm hit. They're like, where are you hit? He goes, I don't know, I'm hit. They're like, okay, but where? Because they're like starting to check him over. Nothing.
Dude, you imagine?
The worst part, he mag dumped. The sergeant fired into the truck. Suspect was unhit. Not a scratch. Wow. And he was, how far can you barrel roll? Combat roll forward? How far does that take you?
Maybe 3 meters, 4 meters at best.
He was maybe 20 feet from the vehicle. Mag dumped. And don't misunderstand. I'm glad they missed because, yeah, the suspect's a piece of shit, but he didn't deserve to be fucking gunned down.
You imagine being in the back of that car,
Yeah.
and the entire every window and door panels turning into Swiss cheese.
Look up Angry Cops had a video, and I think Donut had a breakdown of it. It's all
he had to have like thought he was in a scene from Pulp Fiction. He was like, I don't know, man, that was a fucking miracle shit right there.
It was funny because you hear like, okay, you and I both know we've been around weapons.
Yeah.
What does a suppressed weapon sound like? Fired cold.
You hear the bolt, you hear the action.
It's still fairly loud. Like not your ears loud, but how now to contrast, how loud is an Acorn hitting a vehicle? They sound literally nothing alike.
Nothing alike. I mean, when Acorn hitting the hood sounds like a hailstorm.
It gets worse.
It's just like a piece of hail.
It gets worse. This dude was an officer, and B, it's unclear whether he was special forces or if he was just attached to a special forces unit.
Oh no!
In Afghanistan.
He was just attached.
in
Just a-
Afghanistan. He's been over there 2 years. And he couldn't tell the difference between an acorn and a round poppin'? Come on. He's already quit. He's already resigned too.
He already resigned. All right, I was
Oh,
gonna say because like I'm getting the whole other guys feel where like they handed him a wooden gun.
Death pop. They would have. Oh, they're not done with him.
I
There's
got an acorn pop.
holy shit, corn pop. Oh, we found him. He is real.
It's like, oh God, they're coming right for us.
Were you in the name? Yes.
Uncle Jimbo, what are you doing? That's the only way to shoot endangered animals. They have to be charging you.
I was just looking up the body cam footage is out there. Look it up on YouTube. It is.
Yeah, I'm going to.
What's even worse is I've gone over and I've watched it so many times. I can't hear the acorn hit the damn hood. That's how low it was. I can't even hear it on the video.
That's it. Next week, I'm going to Hobby Lobby and I'm going to find some acorns, and they're hanging from the mic, from the mic boom next week. That's happening.
The best meme I saw out of all these, because the memes have been just gold. The
Oh,
best meme I saw
I've been
was
seeing them. I've been
was
seeing.
Bill
You seen
Gribble.
one where like the acorn hit the
Fucking
ground,
acorns.
and you got the dude behind the minigun.
The one video of that one scene in Predator when he just starts unloading into the jungle. It says,
Yes.
that moment when an acorn hits your vehicle.
Yes. You got Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is gonna get us canceled. The best line out of that whole movie was when they're in the bird and they're inbound, they're about to infill, and he's trying to get everybody to take a chew.
Yep.
They're like, no. And he goes, what are y'all, a bunch of slack jaw? It's like,
Stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
just like me. Best line in the whole movie. Like,
Watch
you know, I mean, that movie came out like in the 80s, and so
87, I want to say.
yeah, 87, I think. But you know, I remember seeing that shortly after it came out. I'm at home and I'm watching this, and I'm like, hell yeah. You know, like,
I want to be that.
like
I
I
ain't
want to
got
be
time.
that dude. And then you know, and then we grow up and we join the actual military, and you realize that it's all the guys that are jacked out like that.
They're the
that
worst.
they're the biggest liabilities.
Exactly.
I saw there was a Green Beret. I forget what his name was. He was giving an interview, and he was talking about fitness, and he was talking about the guys that just live in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Did you get these gym rats? I mean, they get all bulked out and everything. I mean, they come in there looking like the Swede, and this job is not for them.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, sure, you know, they could bench press a truck, but they don't have the endurance. And it's usually the guys that look like they run triathlons or Ironman competitions that just sail through selection.
Yep.
And I'm like,
So guys that look like accountants, they're the truly dangerous ones.
yeah, like the
Looking
most
at so well.
decorated, you know, freaking special operations guy. I mean, the dude looks
exactly
like,
who I'm talking about.
yeah, I mean, the dude looks like he does taxes for fun.
Yeah.
Like
He
he's like,
literally looks like an elementary school teacher.
yeah, I mean, April 15th, it's like porn for him.
It's the most wonderful time.
Right? It's like Christmas. I see your holiday and I raise you federal paperwork. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I mean, he looks like the kind of guy that when he finishes, he goes like this with his glasses. He's like, so, you're gonna have to leave.
Don't forget to keep all your receipts.
Right. Because I know I am. That's how he probably did it, right? Like back in the day. He's stacking bodies and he's slaying pussy, right? And all he's doing is he's just like he's making deals with the hookers outside of Fort Bragg. He's like, I'll do your taxes if you blow me.
And then uses QuickBooks.
Right. Oh no, because back when he was doing it, man, he was figuring tax brackets out with a slide rule.
Oh,
That's what he was doing.
slide rule. Holy shit. Like, is that magic? What is that? Don't you worry about it, baby. I got you an extra $1,500.
It's a long drag off his cigarette and just ashes it on her belly button. Instead of just lay there and look pretty. Butt back in his mouth.
Oh man, that dude is a legend.
All right, he's still alive, isn't he?
I believe so.
We got to get him on the show,
right?
And I'm just gonna die laughing if he starts spouting off some stories about ashing and hookers' belly buttons.
I knew it.
Like, are you? I called that. like, like, I've never been more attracted to a man before in my life, but by God, that was it right there.
Oh man.
So there was a NASCAR race that happened this weekend.
That's true. Man, that was weird because
on Monday, so it was yesterday.
Yeah, I was sitting in the break room at work and we took our break and I saw they were singing the national anthem. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, don't get me started on the 82nd Airborne All-American Choir.
I was busy on Sunday.
Holy shit. I'm listening to the MRN broadcast on Sirius XM, right?
Yeah.
Ladies, don't quit your day job.
But they look good in their pinks and browns.
Bro, why do you think that a majority of hip hop and pop artists use auto-tune? Because they're eye candy, that's all.
Because they need it.
They need it, exactly. I'm not exactly, what's the word I'm looking for? Musically inclined.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I could probably, my musical talent can fit in this tin right here. Just kind of putting that out there. But yeah, I'm sitting here listening to this and I kind of want to turn it down, but I can't be disrespectful to the national anthem. We stopped in Willis for just a couple of minutes on the way out of town. And Willis, for those of you who don't know geographically, that is north of Houston, north of Houston. I'm listening to the music, I'm listening to the song being sang, and I've located a flag, and I'm looking at the flag, sitting in the car, hat over my hat, over my heart, and I'm like, but you could tell the one girl was absolutely in love with her voice. She was singing louder than everybody.
Yes.
People who were harmonizing with her couldn't keep up. And then she was singing, I want to say alto, kind of.
Yeah.
And you had one girl that was just maybe a couple octaves below her and they were off. Like they weren't singing the same word at the same, she would start, oh, and she would be like, the next girl would be like, oh, it was almost like they were echoing each other. And dude, it just killed it for me. And I'm just sitting there going, this is why people want to come here and kill us. Dude,
we heard your song. You died.
Right? I'm sitting there going, Way to go, 82nd Airborne. That's why they don't fucking make movies about you. I'm like, good God.
It's job security.
No, man. I mean, the only time the 82nd's really been in the movies is when they portrayed the dude hanging off the bell tower in The Longest Day, right?
Right.
And when dudes were scattered to the winds during Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, and they were just background walking.
Yeah, they were back. They were extras,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, who's leading the charge? The 101st. Absolutely. You want it done? Call the 101. Fuck yeah. All right. I'll pimp that shit all day long. Screaming Eagles, baby. For life. Do what?
I just want to point out too that Fourth ID was right there on the beach with them. So,
well, a majority of the 101st.
Every time you see somebody, like if it's not an 101st patch, it's a Fourth ID patch.
That's fair. And then you get the guys like, I was in the Big Red One. Okay.
Yeah, good for you.
In all fairness, I'm not taking anything away from the Big Red One. I'm not. I mean, you have to be special to get your own Call of Duty game, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway. Man, we're ripping through this. The only thing really that we've got left is Colin's segment and to actually go over the NASCAR stuff. So
yeah,
let me find out if Colin's ready. And
imagine that. Look how fast our Sparks talk goes when there's no sports.
Right.
It's like that works.
Almost like, do we take a break for a couple of weeks? But then no, because now baseball's starting and then we got NASCAR's in full swing now. And I'm just like,
yeah, Maria would miss us too much.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure that she could find other avenues of
it's not the same.
Aging males yelling at each other.
Old folks' homes.
Right.
Bingo halls.
If you go to the old folks' home, yeah, you get your well, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But the one thing that you don't have to contend with here that you have to do, have to contend with at the old folks' home is you don't have to carry prophylactics with you because we're STD free here.
That's true.
So
unlike the retirement homes.
Unlike the retirement homes, because Granny likes to fuck. I'm just kind of putting that out there.
Cesspools that they are.
Right. I mean, there's a reason why the orderlies do bed checks.
Yeah, you fucking nasty. And y'all know exactly why.
She goes, I can find something, but it's not the same.
Geriatric orgies going on in there.
Oh, dude. Granny showing her O face with that dry paste kind of hanging there on the corner of her mouth.
No,
you, sir, are welcome.
Crusties. Oh, that's the worst.
She's like, okay, stop it.
And there goes the magic.
She goes, stop, both of you. Oh, man. I mean, I
just can't do away with this.
You really can't. I mean, nobody else can bring to life the mashing of liver spots the way that we can.
Mashing of liver spots. Just snorting Geritol off of Granny's ass.
Right. Doing lines of Geritol off her ass. Dentures by the bed. That is awesome.
Hey, everybody loves a good gummy.
I mean, all right. So I'm gonna apply something here that I learned tonight. So we've got let me see here. Oh yes, okay. So we have two different types of collision when you're talking about physics, right? You've got where did it go? I need to take better. Oh, elastic collisions, which is they bounce off without losing any energy or change shape, right? They may end up on different areas, right?
Mhm.
Then you've got the inelastic collision, where they stick together, they lose a kinetic energy due to crushing, and they become one mass. That's what it's like when old people screw.
Yeah, it's definitely sticky. That is for sure.
Yes. I mean, I wish that I had the sound bite for the whole more you know, but we're just gonna have to settle for the over the line. Yeah,
David could just edit it in later.
right. You'll see that that split, where he'll find where somebody takes a breath in between syllables, and you'll see the video clip.
Oh man. I may never get hard again. Just Krusty is just stuck in my head now.
I mean,
Damn you.
it's better than the dry pasty foam at the corner of her mouth.
I don't know which one's worse. The crusty or the semi gelatinous.
Right. I'm still waiting for Colin to check his phone. I'm willing to bet that we're gonna have to like fill time because he's either in the shower. So I texted his brother. I'm like, hey, have your brother check his phone. Okay, so I'm going to talk about NASCAR for a minute.
What?
All right, so the Xfinity race was supposed to be, is it foam though?
Foam-ish.
I would think that it would be maybe like electrolyte enriched spittle.
Electrolyte enriched. It's what plants crave.
Yeah, I mean, bromade, right? That's what it was in the movie?
No, what was it? Brondo.
Brondo. Yeah, there you go. So my kid discovered himself, flooded the toilet with too many tissues. I died laughing. Oh, tell him that's what the shower's for.
That can still clog up the drain too, though. Remember basic.
Nothing says loving like a good episode of Genocide in the Morning. I'm just kind of saying. Put that out there. Oh, good Lord. All right. So Colin read his phone. He's ready.
There we go.
I've sent him the link. Oh. We had a guy in my barracks. He lived across the way. He literally had a happy sock. And you knew when he was jerking off because he would turn Pearl Jam up all the way. And you could still hear him orgasm. You'd hear him go, yeah. We're like, fuck.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Okay. We were making amazing time.
And then he has to come along and just fuck up the rotation.
Like, just oh, damn. I got the hiccups now. This is bullshit.
Everything was going great. Oh man.
My wife is on the other side of the screen. She's working diligently. And our dogs decided to invite themselves into the studio. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Okay. Come on, Colin. I know that you read the link. I know that you saw the link. Come on. Let's go. I'm hoping that it's because he's moving the link to his laptop instead of having to try to do it from his phone tonight. Oh, okay. It's amazing how fast this show goes off the rails.
It really is.
It really is. I mean, we talk about America's school teacher being the biggest body stacker and how he likes to ash his cigarettes and hookers' belly buttons during tax time, and now we're talking about geriatric orgies and
I don't know how we got there, but I'm not going to question it too hard either.
I just saw your text. That's hilarious. Oh, that one hurt, dude. Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Come on, dude.
Time waits for no man, Colin.
Right? I sent him the link. I was like, oh, he said it's loading. Oh, that means he'll be here promptly.
Mm.
Well, I think promptly went out the window 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, promptly is
We'll say fashionably late.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. However, the standard is if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
They're 10 minutes late.
You're 10 minutes late. Exactly. Dead air. There's no dead air. We've had a steady.
Our air is rich with life.
Yes. I mean, it's a cesspool. it's a primordial soup. That's what it is.
Teeming with bacteria, just like the crusty shit that's right there in the corner of Grandma's mouth. Oh, wait. Has she heard all of this?
She's serious.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
All right.
Mindy, you're my favorite.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah. No, she only hears one side of the conversation because I've got the entire show coming through these.
Okay,
oh
good.
My God.
I can still try to maintain the illusion that I'm not a degenerate. I can still pretend.
It's taking forever to load. Go to downdetector.com and see. I know, but go to Down Detector and see if their servers are down. All right. So, hey, Colin, how's it going today, bud?
Hello.
Colin is back in the land of nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be there. After a long weekend down here with me. I was listening to the God, I can't talk. The Daytona 500 for most of the trip yesterday. So, but
NASCAR's cool and all to me, but I don't know if I could sit through the entire thing. Well, like if I'm in person, I could sit through it all. But if I'm at home watching it on TV, I'm like.
Now, to be fair,
it actually does go really fast in person.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, at home, I generally only like to watch maybe 3 races a year. That's the Daytona 500, the Coke 600, and the championship race in Phoenix. So that's about it. Oh my God.
Are you okay there?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm really not. God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh God.
Let's try this now.
I'm sorry.
Colin, are you ready?
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, come save your dad.
Rising from the smoke and haze of desolation comes a Ronin, bent on wrongdoing that which has been set right. Here for your ears and eyes to feast upon. It is my genetic code. Ladies, angry faithful of all ages, it is time for joke time with Colin.
I don't know if any of these jokes are gonna beat what just happened, but you know.
I'm glad that I'm here for your entertainment, son. So yeah, just go ahead and regale us with your
The warm up act
job.
was phenomenal. I
Yeah.
just want to put that out
Why was the snowman smiling? He saw the snowblower down the street.
there.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Now, there's another one where it's like I had to run it by you first. So
Just throw it out there.
no,
It can't be any
Have
worse.
it be canceled by
no, no,
Dude,
you're gonna-
we were talking about old people having sex earlier. It could not be any worse than that. Just go for it.
No, really. It was rather graphic.
Yeah, and what I'm fixing to send him is rather.
All right,
graphic as
just
well.
you pitter patter. All right, so
Where is it? Where is it? Right there. Pitter patter. Chop chop, joke boy. Oh.
oh wow.
Oh, super
Um,
spicy. I want to
See, yeah, it's like
super spicy. I want this spicy.
it's
Send
not.
it.
It's not what.
Send it.
What's the best part of being a pedophile? Your dick looks big in all the pictures.
Oh, super spicy. Oh,
You know, out of all the jokes,
Oh, that is the
Well,
atomic sauce on hot ones, man. That's what
that one.
that might be the one that get us canceled.
That's gonna
I'm not
piss
gonna
people
lie.
off.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
that's
Love
gonna
it.
rile up the natives, dude. I just
Love it. Hope it does. I hope it does.
I'm gonna tell Mindy that joke. Hold on, she's in here.
Oh god, I'm getting. Yeah, I'm gonna get the look.
The joke that
It's
Colin
like-
had to run by me says, "What's the best part of being a pedophile? Your dick looks big in all the pictures." She was like, "Oh, that's bad." Oh man, he is. He's actually blushing. I can see it through the camera. It's kind of
Oh no, it's dude. Mom keeps it so hot in this house. It's ridiculous.
so you love it when you come down here and I keep it like a meat locker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except the last night we were there, I'm like, dude, we gotta turn up the thermostat. Like, Jake put on his hoodie. That's how cold it was.
All right, so to put things into perspective here, we like to keep it around 63, 60, no, 65. Yeah, about 65. Because you sleep better when you're cold. Right? It's better for you.
True. It's biology.
Yeah, and for the record, Colin, Maria said she lied. She was not ready for that joke.
Yeah,
Um,
Well, of course.
I'm
I
not my
wasn't
drum
ready
book
for that
now,
joke, and I
so-
read the thing. So anyway, God, I completely forgot what I was saying. Oh, so we keep it about 65, because it's better for you, it's healthier, that kind of a thing. Now the room where Colin sleeps when he's here, him and his brother Jake, one wall faces a cold space, and for whatever reason they didn't insulate it. So I've got to buy some 2x4s, put up some studs on that interior wall, and then insulate it, and then hang sheetrock up there in the storage room. So Because it's the space, literally, it's the space above the garage that I floored in on my own and turned it into a storage room. But yeah, so I've got to put some studs up on that wall. I've got to put some like probably R13 insulation up there and hang some sheetrock. So that way, you know, we're not, I mean, our electricity bills are kind of atrocious, but I mean, they've been getting better, but I'd like to make them go down further.
Even better.
Yeah. I mean, they go down halfway. I you know, I want the electricity bills to hit the base. I'm just kind of putting that out there. I know. I said that they were getting better, but that's still only halfway down the shaft. I mean, I want them to hit the base.
The term balls deep mean anything to you?
Right. I want to hear that. Oh.
Yes.
I want the electricity bills mascara to run.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
oh, basically because I'm tired of paying TXU half my mortgage. You know, like, so would never do that again with the sound that I would make a terrible gay person because I have the world's worst gag reflex.
Dude,
When I go to brush my teeth, and you know how you're supposed to brush your tongue, dude, I gag every friggin' time.
exactly. I'm like,
Just make sure that your boyfriend is smaller than your toothbrush.
No. I mean, I'm definitely a taco guy. I'm just kind of putting that out there. Just definitely putting that out there. Definitely a taco person. I mean, most people tilt their heads to the side to eat tacos. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nope. I'm in a sniper hide in the prone position, head straight up and down.
It's kind of a it's a self-holding kind of.
Yeah, I mean, and there's one thing I can definitely I can say without being too incredibly graphic, my ears never get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thighs are great at
Yes.
holding temperature,
Yes.
you know, the warmth.
And Colin, when you become of age, you will learn this.
Mhm.
You
Thighs.
crinkle up your nose now, and you're like, oh, that's nasty.
Nah.
But no,
Thick thighs
No.
save lives.
you, sir, you have skeleton blood running through your veins. It will become one of your favorite pastimes. I'm just kind of putting that out there, bud. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some NASCAR racing that happened this weekend.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know.
Oh, we're gonna play your outro. You want to stick around, or do you want to bounce?
I'll stick around for a little bit.
Okay.
Gone without regard for your moral well-being. You have been witness to yet another traumatic episode of my genetic code assaulting your soul without consent. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, this has been Joke Time with Colin.
All right. So, all right. So Mindy's in here. You know, she sponsors our show. She's a mobile notary, and so she's in here actually. Not preparing documents. She's printing out documents that need to be signed tomorrow for one of her signings that she's got scheduled. We've got this laser jet printer. No, laser jet printer. That you know, it's one of those nice ones, right? You know, 2 different trays, holds different size paper, that kind of thing. There is no, like, one of the best smells in the world is when an inkjet printer is running. You get that ozone smell, and then like the paper's all warm and just, oh, dude, it's like gunpowder. It's so good.
Johnny,
Yeah.
my girlfriend is asking you to check your phone.
check my
Check
phone.
your phone. Check your phone. Just look here. You have received mail. You've received a message, and she really wants you to see it while on the air. Check.
Is it in Facebook Messenger?
I don't know. I mean, that's how she sent it. You know what? She might have sent it to David.
Probably. She needs to be, I'm sure she's a great girl, but she needs to be educated. like David 9 times out of 10 is not here.
That's true, especially lately. We'll have to wait because I guarantee David's going to put it in the group chat because.
Well, David's not even here.
I don't mean right now.
Well, if she wants it read or seen while we're on the air.
Oh yeah, she sent it to David.
Just tell her to send it to me. Actually, yeah, just have her send it to me through Facebook, and I'll read it when it comes up. Anyway, so we had NASCAR start their season this weekend. Daytona, first race of the year, first points paying race of the year. How about that? And it is the crown jewel event. Teams spend all year I cannot talk. Suddenly come down with a case of the Davids. It's that liver spot syndrome.
We mentioned him one time.
Start drooling uncontrollably. Electrolyte enriched spittle, pulling up and foaming.
Water?
What's that you say? Here. Okay. So it's Florida. It's February. There's rain. So it rained Saturday. Final practice for the Cup guys and qualifying and the race for the Xfinity guys got pushed back to Monday, which was yesterday. So the Cup guys were first up on the docket because you can't run the Daytona 500 at like 9 o'clock at night. You just can't do it. Because that's your ratings grabber. You want people there in prime time, right? So, this year marks the 40th anniversary of Hendrick Motorsports. 40 years to the day, actually, that they fielded their first car in their first event. And, so all the Hendrick guys, they've got the 40-year logo on their driver suits. They all rolled out special paint schemes for this race. And yeah, the number 24 car, driven by William Byron of Hendrick Motorsports, wheeled that car to victory lane. There was we had to wait 5 laps for the first wreck. It took out, I don't know, like 3 or 4 cars. And then after that, it was pretty uneventful, with the exception of the stage breaks, which they're going to throw the caution for that. With about 10 to 15 laps to go, we finally get the big one. And by say the big one, when you're talking about super speedway races, when they're inches off of each other's doors going about 200 miles an hour, if you could reach out your window and push on the car next to you, you could make it move. That's how much the wind affects. And the further back in the field you are, the more busy you are on the steering wheel because the wind's just buffing your car around, right? Now, these cars are streamlined, aerodynamically tuned, and they are designed to drive up front and in the pack and at those speeds. That's what they're built for. That is the one purpose that particular car for that particular track is built for. But with about 10 10 to 15 laps to go, there was like an 18 car wreck. It brought a red flag. Oh no, it was with 8 laps to go. It brought out the red flag. I mean, they everybody parked their cars. They could not move. Nice. But we had I mean, I'm listening to it on the radio, and then I had to go back and look at the video clip later. Dude, it was the world's most expensive junkyard. I mean, these cars are probably $200,000 to $250,000 a piece.
Easy.
And it just when you're bump drafting, if you don't line your bumpers up just right, you can send somebody around. If you push too hard in the corners, you're really not supposed to bump draft in the corners at all. NASCAR kind of put that mandate out. But, they start bump drafting when they come out of turn 4 because there's a little short straightaway before they hit the trioval at Daytona. They just kind of got a little, because the closer you get to the end of the race, you start to see guys start to get a little more aggressive. They stop settling for the filing in and just racing side by side. I mean, they're making aggressive moves to try to get the best position that they possibly can, put themselves in front of a line and establish drafting partners to get to the front as fast as possible, to put themselves in a position to be part of that conversation, for the checker flag. Guys spend their entire careers. This is the one race that they want to win. And a lot of guys don't do it. But I think this is like it was like the 40th different driver to win this race. This is the 66th running of the race. And William Byron's win on Monday made him the 40th different driver to win this race. And only the second guy to do it in the number 24 car. Jeff Gordon being the other one. Jeff Gordon, three-time Cup champion. He's got 93 Cup Series wins in that car. He won the Daytona 500. I think it was 2 or 3 times. I think it was 3 times actually. But with William Byron driving Gordon's old car, Gordon was saying he's the vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports now, since he's retired from driving duties. But he said, I try not to be biased, but William is making it really hard on me, because it's like this kid's out there. He didn't grow up racing like everybody else did. He grew up as a sim driver and he excelled in like online racing. And he caught the attention of the right people, and he got himself a job as a simulator driver at Hendrick Motorsports. And when Jeff Gordon was talking about retiring, they started putting William Byron through his paces, sent him down to Dale Jr.'s Xfinity team, and try to get him some windshield time and get him ready for the Cup Series. And when Jeff Gordon retired, they promoted William Byron and put him in the 24. William Byron now has 11 Cup Series wins. And let me see here how old he's 20. He's like 20 something years old. He's 20. I think he's actually 24.
That's crazy when you really think about it. There's only what you said, 40th winner?
Yeah.
40
40th different winner, yeah. Because you've got the other 39 guys have won it multiple times.
True.
And then you've got your smattering.
Look at how long that race has been run, though.
Yeah.
40 people. Like that's
But you think about how many times like Richard Petty won multiple times. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won it twice. Denny Hamlin's a 3-time winner. I think Jimmy Johnson's won it 4 times. Jeff Gordon has won it 3 times. And then you got your single winners. You got like Dale Waltrip. I think Dale Waltrip's only won it once. Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s won it one time back in 1998. It took him 20 years to win that race. But, William Byron forever now, because his car did pass post-race inspection, so NASCAR made the official ruling. And now they come into the white flag. They started wrecking behind them, right? There was a wreck that started to occur behind the leaders. Now, in order for the race to avoid going into overtime, the leader has to take the white flag. So the last lap has to have officially begun in order for the race to be considered official. So what happened is that once the caution comes out, you got those series of lights that go all the way around the track. Once they start flashing yellow, they get a timestamp, and then that's immediately compared with video footage and scoring loop information from transponders on the car. So that way NASCAR knows who is positioned where, in case they need to go to a restart kind of a thing. They did conclude that William Byron had taken the white flag at the time that the caution lights came on. So they did, all he had to do at that point was finish the caution lap, at pit road speed, which was, I think 55 miles an hour, creeping around that last 2.5 miles at 55 miles an hour, knowing that all you got to do is take the checker flag to officially claim your win, right? It is the biggest race of his life, the biggest race of his career, and he can take this one off the bucket list. Not only did he win himself a Daytona 500, he permanently has his name engraved on the Harley J. Earl trophy. Quite possibly the most beautiful trophy in all of motorsports.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. But on top of all of that, he now can use the rest of the season as kind of like an experimenting, phase, because he has he's already last year kind of threw a monkey wrench in the way that the format works, but William Byron's already in the playoffs. He's qualified for the playoffs by notching a win. He could probably do himself and his team a big favor by racking up maybe one or two more wins. Definitely staying out of points trouble.
He will. I don't doubt that he will.
Oh yeah,
strong
because
start.
if you remember when we were at Texas in September, he won that race. Coincidentally, that was his last win before winning the 500 yesterday. So I'm looking forward to good things from all of Hendrick Motorsports this year. I'm also looking forward, as much as I hate to say it, Joe Gibbs Racing is going to put up a good showing this year. Stewart-Haas Racing is hold on a second. Yep. Did you hear that? Okay. Let me see here.
I heard something.
You just fucking adore me.
She goes. She texted me right now. She's like, "What would you do if I said this to them?" And I was like, "They'd fucking laugh, and I'd think it's hilarious too."
That is great. That is great. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. At all.
No. I do actually look really adorable there.
Yeah, and the stuffed animal's adorable too. I'm just kind of putting that out there.
That's amazing.
But Stewart-Haas Racing with Noah Gragson driving the number 10 car, the Black Rifle Coffee number 10 car, driving the Ford Mustang Dark Horse edition Mustang this year. Yeah, he's going to be kind of racy, dude. I know. I'm not
saying nothing.
But Noah Gragson, I still like the kid.
I wish him well.
Yeah. But he's got Ranger Boats on as a sponsor also this year.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I mean they're Stewart Haas Racing is going to get a lot of looks this year. Um, I mean, since Kevin Harvick retired at the end of the last season, there's a new driver in the number 4 car. Let me pull it up here real quick. All right, we got Josh Berry, who drove for Junior Motorsports last year. Josh Berry is kind of an anomalous phenom. I don't want to use the word phenom, but I mean, the kid, I mean, he's definitely talented. He had limited seat time, I think, over the last year and a half with JR Motorsports. And it just kind of seemed like he was either top 10 or he was in victory lane. In fact, the first race that he started in, if I'm not mistaken, with Junior Motorsports, his first Xfinity race, he won it.
Nice.
So, I look forward to, just good things from him. You got Ryan Preece in the number 41 car. And then, like I said, we've got Noah Gragson in the number 10 car. He actually, let me see here. Where did he finish? He finished 15th. So it wasn't a top 10. He finished 15th. I mean, he moved up 16 spots from where he started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he led 5 laps in that car. And
That's a strong outing right there.
Yeah, I mean, it is. So, I mean, as long as he can keep from liking the wrong memes on Instagram, I think he'll be okay this year.
That's a deadly pit for anybody to fall in.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, and it is such crap. I mean, it's such crap.
He
But
also
I mean,
needs to make sure he needs to be very careful with any of the pull strings that he leaves laying around inside the garages.
right? Yeah,
Very careful.
I mean,
Look at Bubba.
there's right. Coincidentally, Bubba Wallace got himself a top 5. Listening to him give Bubba Wallace give his post-race interviews is like listening to vintage Kyle Busch complain about everything. Last
Accurate.
night, I mean, he got a top 5 at the Daytona 500. That was his best 500 finish. Right? Normally, he doesn't finish that race. And he was like, "Well, I've got a clean car. I mean, there's no. I mean, it's not wadded up. I mean, this is the best looking car, 500 car that I finished with." So, I mean, positives. Just there's a lot of positives here, but I mean, just execution or just something I'm not doing right. I mean, how about you just got outdrove? Hey, good job to the winner. He didn't even say congratulations to the winner.
See, that's poopy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a Busch League move, and I'm like, come on, man.
That's some amateur shit.
I mean, I get that his boss is Denny Hamlin, who is priding himself on being the new villain, but come on, man. Yeah, I mean, you have a hard enough time trying to win over fans in the series. Taking lessons from Denny Hamlin is not going to help your cause.
No.
God,
no. That won't win you any fans.
And for what it's worth, I mean, I told you that with like 9 laps to go, that they had the big one, right? The big wreck that took out like 18 different cars. And Denny Hamlin, I think he was involved in that wreck. He ended up finishing 12th. So I'm okay. I'm okay with him finishing outside the top 10. If he can just do that consistently throughout the course of the year, playoffs, I'll be all right with that.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't start drifting backwards, then you're good.
No, I mean, if he wants to drift backwards, by all means, go for it. But Hunter Nemechek, he drives the number 42 car for Legacy Motor Club, Jimmy Johnson's team. He went out and got himself a 6th place finish in the race yesterday. And he's got a podcast. It's called Stacking Pennies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because literally, he's been in back marker car, like USDA grade C type, equipment
It's like
for most of his career.
It's like,
and he's been having to piecemeal it together. And I don't know if this is a full-time ride or if it's a part-time ride with Legacy Motor Club. Legacy Motor Club, they got screwed over by GM last year. You would figure 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson, who won all 7 of his championships in a Chevy, would get manufacturer support. But no, they didn't for whatever reason, and they decided to make a manufacturer change for this year. They went with Toyotas. TRDs, regardless as to what I feel about Toyota, TRD really, they supply all the engines for the Toyota teams. They also we give huge manufacturer support. TRD does it right,
Yeah.
hands down. But Christopher Bell with Joe Gibbs Racing, he finished 3rd. Chase Elliott finished 5th. Alex Bowman finished 2nd. They officially had him scored as like 6/1000ths of a second behind him. But when they crossed the start finish line to take the checker, the caution checker,
Yeah.
Alex Bowman was in the process of giving William Byron a donut on his door. So that's that's how they scored the end of the race, and I'm like, all right. I mean, it made for a really great
amazing.
1-2 finish photo, but it's that doesn't tell the tale of the tape, So, but yeah, I mean, the top 5. I mean, Hendrick Motorsports took 3 out of the top 5 positions to finish this race. Um, you know, Kyle Larson, he got caught up in all that crap with 10 laps to go. He did manage to finish in the top 10. He came home 7th in last night's race. So I mean, and that's really good. Then you've got the Xfinity race from last night. They were the matinee, I guess, so to speak. Well, not matinee. They were the late show. They were like the Craig Kilborn. You watch it because you hope for something funny and for something entertaining, but 9 times out of 10 people fall asleep because there's just the monotone.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just the background noise that you have while you're doing something else.
Right. It's like watching Friends or How It's Made, or we just recently finished King of Queens, the entire all 9 seasons. We're starting Everybody Loves Raymond at night.
Yeah.
We just use it for background noise.
Yep.
Yeah, Rules of Engagement was by far like my favorite show.
I love that show.
I mean, Patrick Warburton.
I literally was going to say mainly
I
because
want to have a conversation with him just because I want to hear Kronk in my ear.
oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's all coming together. Oh yeah.
I mean, have you seen me? I mean, look at me. I want to have that conversation with him.
Right.
But we had come on here. I want. Let's go back up here. Come on. I'm trying to get the Xfinity results to come up here because there was a lot of guys that pulled double duty last night. I mean, they got done racing 500 miles in the Daytona 500, and then they had to run an additional 300 miles last night during the what was it? I'm going to get this right here. Hold on. It was in the United Rentals 300.
United Rentals.
Yeah, I mean, they sponsored the race, the Xfinity race. But let me see here.
I miss the old days.
You make that sound like
We want our dog to fetch it.
no, we don't want our dog to fetch it. Shut up.
Depends on what he's fetching. What's he fetching? We may want him.
It's a sports clip commercial on the NASCAR site, and
we don't want anything.
and he's got like the shaggy dog, right? And I mean, you can tell that this dude, like, he skips every day at the gym because he's got the no name, the no name Vans on. He's got the blue hoodie that's way too baggy for him, and I don't know what brand, like, skinny cargo pants on. and you know, like the rope that's got the tennis ball on it that you use to like play tug of war with your dog. This dog is kicking his ass. Oh yeah, Mindy coming for with the win here, coming in from left field with the Gap City cargo pants.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, so Austin Hill won his third Daytona race in a row last night, um, in the Xfinity Series. Let me see here. I find the freaking results for this race. Oh my God. No. Schedule. Come on, switch. There we go. That's yes, the United Rentals 300. And we're gonna do that. And here we go. All right. So race results. Thank you so much. Why is it so friggin' hard to navigate this damn site? I have no idea. Come, there we go. Thanks. Way to go, internet. Damn China coming in here with the cyber hacks already. God. All right. So Austin Hill running for, I think it's Richard Childress Racing's Xfinity outfit. Wheels his Chevy to victory lane last night for, again, the third season opener in a row. John Hunter Nemechek finished second in the number 20 Toyota that he was driving. Justin Allgaier, who has been a longtime driver for Dale Jr. and Junior Motorsports, he finished third last night. Yeah, I think this is going to be the year where he finally puts it all together and he gets over that hump and wins a championship this year. I'm going to go ahead and call my shot for the Xfinity guys this year. I think Justin Allgaier is going to pull that off. So, I mean, because he wins the championship going away, and he graduates and goes up to the Cup Series because there's going to be a seat opening up somewhere. I pray it's Bubba Wallace's seat.
Oh God, that'd be amazing.
Well, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Denny Hamlin's seat, more than likely, because Denny Hamlin was rumored to be on the fence about retiring this year, or at the end of last year. But Denny Hamlin being Denny Hamlin, he's like, I just can't give it up because nothing's going right in my life. I mean, when your girlfriend takes your daughter and moves out of the house because you're that big of an asshole,
saying something.
I'm just kind of putting that out there. And then he's going to go and he's going to take it out on the media, and he's going to take it out on the fans. He's going to take it out on the other drivers on the track. I mean, Denny Hamlin's a rich man. He hangs out with Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan needs to reevaluate who he spends time with, because Denny Hamlin's bringing some baby dick energy to that 6-time NBA champion right there. I mean, Michael Jordan will forever and always be the GOAT. I don't care what LeBron tries to do.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
The all-time.
The all-time GOAT for basketball. Like Tom Brady will be the GOAT for the NFL. But
yeah, I'm less enthusiastic about that, though.
Yeah, that's just because everybody.
It's undeniable.
Yeah, undeniable.
But
now we may be, kind of seeing what Patrick Mahomes does. I mean, we may see what Patrick Mahomes does. And I'm sorry, I really want the best for Dak Prescott, but I doubt very seriously that he is going to obtain the greatness that he dreams of in Dallas. I'm just not convinced. Not as long as Jerry Jones is operating.
Nope. Never.
But,
we are never ever going to see a Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is alive. right now.
But let me see here. Some of the guys that ran double duty last night. You got John Hunter Nemechek. You had Joe Graf Jr. You had Cole Custer. Justin Haley ran double duty. You also had, let me see here. Let's go further down the list. Anthony Alfredo. Yes, I said that name right. Anthony Alfredo. Josh Berry ran double duty last night. And one of the largest traditions of NASCAR that people have just come to love, know, and appreciate is the fact that there's always been an Earnhardt running at Daytona. And while we have not had a day an Earnhardt running at the cup level since Dale Jr. retired, Dale Jr.'s nephew Jeffrey Earnhardt, who is almost a dead ringer for his grandpa, is running he's been bouncing around between Toyota and Chevy over the last couple of years. He's in a Chevy this year. He's running the number 44 car. I mean, this dude, if you go on his Twitter account, on his X account, he spends more time talking about hunting, fishing, and going noodling for catfish than he does talk about racing.
Good old boy.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
That's old school NASCAR right there.
I'm just telling you, I mean, if you get Jeffrey Earnhardt in some good equipment, I'm saying maybe he's going to be top 15, top 10 driver, consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, everybody's going to start calling all bullshit, because, genetics don't mean shit, but there's too much octane in that bloodline.
Yeah, but it's not even just genetics that's doing it. Like, you grow up listening to that, you're around it, you're surrounded at
I mean,
that
his
level.
dad, Kerry is Dale Sr.'s oldest son, right?
Yeah.
And Dale Jr.'s half brother. He ran for a while. Him and Dale Jr. ran a street stock and a modified car for, I don't know, for a while, and they did it together.
Yeah.
Even Dale Jr.'s sister, Carrie. I mean, not Carrie. Crap. If anybody from Junior Motorsports listens to this show or happens to stumble across this show, I am sorry. Good God. Good God. What is, I cannot, don't tell me. I'm Kelly. Oh my God. Kelly, I am sorry. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Kelly she ran the street stock, modified car. Also she had her own car. She also ran a car with Dale Jr. Back in the day, right? Kelly, her kids race. She's got a kid, and he's good. Like, he went out there. He's running like the kid midgets, and the kid midgets, the wing cars, the quarter midgets.
Yeah.
He's out there running with like Braxton Bush, and Kevin Harvick, and Kevin and Delaney Harvick's kid. I mean, and he's keeping up with them, and he's winning. I mean, he's got talent. So, Kelly's making that money with Junior Motorsports now. I'm not entirely sure what her husband does. I think he works for the organization too, but I mean, they're going to keep that kid in the car for sure, and as long as he's getting the right grounding with it, which I'm more than sure that he is. I mean, we're not going to see a Dale Earnhardt the third, because Dale Jr. and and his wife, they're only having girls. So and Isla, his oldest daughter, she was running a go-kart for a while there, and he had a go-kart track in the backyard, and he tore it down because he's like, no. He's like, he's like, it's cool that my daughter gets to see what her dad used to do, because I mean, he still runs modifieds, modified cars, modified races every now and then. He's starting to do it a little bit more often, but I mean, he's never going to get back out there on a super speedway. I mean, because everybody knows Dale Jr. retired and got out of the car because of concussions. So, and I don't think that the racing community can handle having to bury another Earnhardt because they died on the track.
Yeah.
So
once was way more than enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But so we're coming up on next week. we've got the Ambetter Health 400. It's in Atlanta, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, when they reconfigured Atlanta, they reconfigured it to a super speedway. So I mean, it's going to be fast. It's a 1.5 mile track, but they changed the banking to where you don't have to lift. So, yeah, it's a fast little track now, and there's guys that love it, but then there's guys that are like, I really wish they'd have just left it alone. Because I mean, when you're coming out of the tri-oval and you're turning, you're heading off into turn one at 200 miles an hour, your instinct is to roll out of the throttle and set your, tap the brakes, set the nose, and sail it off. Nope. You hold that son of a bitch wide open, dude. Just going screaming through that turn.
Right.
And
Hell yeah.
then, and then when you hit that transition, I think, what is it? I don't know. I can't. I don't want to pull up the dimensions in the banking at Atlanta Motor Speedway right now. But Atlanta is one of those tracks that I do want to visit. I do want to go to a race there. I've been to a Bristol race, and I'm so glad they got rid of the dirt race this year. So the Food City 500's back on concrete the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, in April on the 14th, actually on Colin's birthday, Texas got they had their race date moved from September to April. So April 14th is the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400. It's a 267 lap event, 400 miles at the 1.5 mile speedway there at Texas. I'm going to take my two boys. I'm going to take three of my boys. I'm going to take Jake, the oldest. I'm going to take Colin for his birthday, and then I'm going to take Reagan, along with us. It'll be Colin's first race. Not Colin's first race. It'll be Reagan's first race. It'll be Jake's first race. Colin's been before. I've got video of him. I've got video of his reaction to his first green flag. So
Nice.
Of course, in true Colin fashion, even back then, he was hamming it up, right? I got the camera on him, I got the phone turned on, and I'm like, pay attention to the cars, watch the cars, and he's looking down the track, and then he looks back down at the phone, then he looks at the track, and he looks back down at the phone, and then as soon as that whole field passed by us, dude, you saw his face. He kind of goes,
You get that wall of wind.
yeah. You had just the reverberating sound of exhaust, 750 horsepower times 40 just hitting you right in the chest. Because we were sitting a few rows up further from where we were at, but we were roughly in the same area. If I can help it, yeah, sitting down at the start finish line is kind of cool, but dude, I just absolutely love sitting at the entrance to turn one. Because I mean that's when they're turning the most RPMs.
Oh yeah.
So
just balls to the wall.
But yeah, we're gonna try to get some tickets for that race. I don't know if we're gonna sit that close down to the track, if depending on what the pricing of the tickets are, because with the tickets for where we sat last year, they were only about $50 a piece, if I remember right.
Yeah, we got them pretty cheap.
Yeah, so
it was something like the 50, 54, something like that.
Yeah, I doubt very seriously that I'm going to be able to get some unsuspecting, specialist to sneak us into the infield this time. But again, depending on what the money looks like, I doubt it. But I really don't feel like shelling out $75 a piece for those wristbands. To me, it's just not worth it. So, I mean, it is as far as the experience is concerned, but it's just. That's a lot of money, man. So I think I would rather just kind of devote my resources towards, merchandise like from the trailers or whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of, just experience that whole weekend for what it is and celebrate Colin's 15th birthday. So yeah, 15 years old.
You're still going to have to go early though. And see,
I'm not going that early. I am sorry. I'm not going that early. I don't care.
No, you have to report back and see if our deacon buddy is still having fun.
Just to clarify, the entire time you guys have been talking, I made Hitler in Tekken 8.
Okay, so Apparently, we're hitting the nerd portion of the show. Colin is playing Tekken 8 on his PS5, and you can customize the characters. So who did you use to make Hitler with?
Victor, because he's my main.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You know, it's funny, like, Chris, you know, we play our kids in games every once in a while, and, you know, we hold our own or we do better than what they're expecting. And what's the excuse that we usually get? I was taking it easy on you. I was going light, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played an actual Tekken game since Tekken Tag Tournament, but, you know, like, I was good at Tekken 3 when it was in the arcade, right? Because it came out when I was in airborne school. And they had a Tekken 3 machine at the Enlisted Club there at Fort Benning.
I never was good at fighting games. Listen, I will button mash the hell out of anybody, but yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
Mortal Kombat, I'm button mashing all day.
I'm button mashing all of my.
Tekken, I was like, okay, you know, I had a rhythm, and you know, and there was a method to my madness, and I took a, you know, you got your 6 rounds or whatever, right, that it could go, and well, I mean, you have to win 3 rounds, right? So, but I got him to the 4th round, so, you know, and then I almost won that 4th round and took it to a final round, but yeah. I'm sitting there going, yeah, I kind of had you worried for a minute there, and you had actually said that I had you worried for a second.
Yeah,
Starts getting
because I'm like, God.
You accused me of button mashing, and I'm like, no, I'm really not.
Okay, but when you accidentally press the pause button, what do you think me? What do you expect me to
That is
think?
because my thumb, dude, is bulbous.
Yeah, but when the pause button is right here and all the buttons are right here.
I don't care what anybody says, Colin.
See, that's
The PS5 controller is an ill-designed thing.
I like this design.
This is coming from a PlayStation player. I really, really like the Xbox design. I like
I
everything about the Xbox in this.
I prefer the Xbox controllers all day, but I'd much rather hold this than a PS4 controller.
Look how close that how close the pause button is to the triangle button.
Yeah, it's right there.
No, look, see how you guys.
You have a small hand, dude.
Listen,
And plus, when I play fighting games, I don't sit there and hold the controllers like this.
Right.
I hold the controller like this.
it's easier to button mash.
Because all right, so our generation, Colin,
Yeah, but
no.
this
I have
isn't-
not yielded the floor to you. You will just shh. It's okay. It's okay. We grew up playing on arcade machines. I had and still have the NES Advantage, which is the joystick and the 2 big oversized buttons, specifically for that reason.
Yes, but there's well, it kind of depends on what you're doing. Like sometimes this is low kit. Yeah, this is
You know how
low
like you hit the charge button by hitting the right trigger in that game?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then there was in Street Fighter, it's medium punch
Through
light
experience
punch,
in my life and
light
applications upon which they have been deployed. My
medium.
fingers are agile and it can hit things from different angles.
Okay.
Right, okay. No, I think he gets it. He's just not going to give us the common courtesy of acknowledging it.
You don't got nothing on my awesome Jin freaking customization.
Be that as it may.
You don't got anything on
No,
this guy
Here's
right
the
here.
thing. Be that as it may. Yeah, no, that's fine. But be that as it may. Be that as it may.
I know it's
All
so
right.
funny. Looking.
And I'm going to sound incredibly old and like all Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino, but you kids these days with your fancy little games and your graphics and what do we
I
know?
played on arcade machines
Doc. All
before.
right, so we got somebody in the audience. Doc. All right, so what we're talking about tonight, we've already done the sports portion of the show, we're now talking about Tekken, Tekken 8 to be specific, and how my son accused me this weekend of button matching because I accidentally hit the pause button on the PS5.
Okay, but when you accidentally hit a button and it's the pause button,
Dude, it's like an eighth of an inch away from the regular button.
It was an accident, son.
okay,
Things
but
happen.
you can't blame me. You
A
cannot
good
blame me.
portion of the population of this earth are here because of an accident.
This is
Yeah,
true.
But you can't blame me for thinking you hit the pause button.
Right, but when I explained that to you and you dismiss it as being a lie, that's where the problem comes.
All I said was, mm-hmm. That's all I said.
Hey, all I know is that the games that really matter, like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark,
Slappers
The-
only.
oh yeah, Slapper, dude, telling, yeah, Golden Guns, oh, and Perfect Dark, right? You had the laptop gun, the sentry gun,
Yep.
bro. You put that up next to a spawn point all day,
Yep.
and then you get the proximity mines.
You may as well, you may as well quit at that point because you ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, especially some of those like larger maps, like in Perfect Dark, you know, you put those proximity mines up around corners, dude.
Yeah,
That it's not even fair. Like, or what I loved doing was to take those proximity mines and throw them into the lights.
oh no, that's
Because you look. I mean, that's how we learned. That's how we learned to like pie our corners, right?
right.
And so, or what you do is you throw a grenade around the corner, and if it explodes, and you get all the secondary explosions.
Yeah,
but
we hadn't been trained to think three-dimensionally at that point yet.
we hadn't, and so the N64 introducing us to this with the expansion pack and Perfect Dark. I was playing my roommate, and I'm sitting there going, all right. He keeps throwing grenades and blowing up the mines, and he's like, all right, I'm enough of that, right? Because we had made the rule that no sentry guns at spawn points, right? So it was like, all right, fine. But I started taking all right, so I knew where the spawn points were, because if you play maps enough, you know where all the spawn points are, right? And so you just get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to put mines at the spawn points. I'm going to make sure that you get around the corner first.
Yeah, you
And,
want
like,
a little
right
bit
there, where where like the body armor usually spawns. Put a mine right on the body armor.
Oh,
That way, because you can't detonate the mine because you'll destroy the armor.
yep.
So, yeah.
That's easy.
Good times, man. I mean, I'm employing guerrilla tactics in Perfect Dark, and my roommate absolutely lost his shit. I mean,
I would have hated you,
dude,
so much.
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that the N64 controller was probably one of the most worst designed controllers in the history of gaming,
Thank you.
he'd sit there and he's like he rears back like he's gonna throw my controller, and I looked at him and I was like, I will rip your head off and crap down your neck.
Yeah,
And he looks at me and he's like, what? I was like, don't throw my controller.
we're not doing that.
I was like, if you're gonna be all butthurt, go upstairs and apply the Vagisil, clear up the drip, and just have a nice day. And he just kind of
water will wash all the sand out.
right. He just looks at me and he's like, well, fuck you, dude. And I was like, what? So he puts the controller down in a nice fashion. I mean, and this is the same guy that he was a diehard Yankees fan, right? In the 2001 World Series, he's like, yeah, we're going to go win the World Series. And I was like, no, you're really not. Yeah, take a Midol. Exactly. Have a Midol and a heating pad. Want to get you some mimosas? What's going on there, princess? A little bonbons, a little me time.
I want some mimosas and bonbons. That sounds amazing.
Right, dude. I'm at the point. I'm at the point in this carnivore diet where I'm just like, I can smell sweet foods, and it's driving me nuts. Like today, I had the biggest craving for cherry flavored Jello.
So if I were to open this box of baklava that I have right next to me,
You know what?
it's from a Turkish coffee shop that has some
I can
It has
smell
some
the
Turkish-
I can smell the honey drizzle already. So
It's got some rose petal
he's got some
as
Greek
well.
baklavas.
There's some rose
See,
petal.
I told my wife what you had, and she kind of gave me that. Oh, I love baklava.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're sitting there.
If you're ever in town, I'm taking you to this place too because they do Turkish coffee.
I haven't had any sweets for 3 days, dude. I haven't had any sugar, no carbs, no bread,
It's only
no
3
vegetables,
days.
meat,
Imagine
egg,
how
and
bad-
cheese.
Imagine how bad you're going to be after a month.
After a month, man, it's just at that point, I don't care.
I'll be here to remind you.
Hey, you know, I mean, I'll have a cheat day.
Kind of friend I am.
I'll have a cheat day maybe once a month.
Like just eating straight meat, that I don't have a problem with that.
Well, there's supposed to be a lot of benefits for it. You know, like 81 of the minerals that your body doesn't normally get is contained in the meats that we eat. Without all the additives, without all the carbs, without all the sugars, you know, your body starts to regulate itself. Your joints don't get inflamed as much. Your oral health actually goes through the roof.
A big
And
plus
your
out of it,
testosterone goes back up to where it's supposed to be.
a big plus is all the suffering as well. The suffering really brings out all of the good health benefits.
Yeah. You know, and it's on top of that, it's like, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the family eat all these carbs and all these sweet foods, and I'm just sitting there going, okay, all right, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. It's for a reason. It's for a reason.
Dude, that last night, the last night, I felt I was fixing to puke. I ate so many pizza rolls that night. Oh my god.
Mhm. Yeah, see, I didn't even care. Oh, dude, Chris. Oh my God, dude. So it's the 40th anniversary of the original Dune.
Yes,
I took the boys. I took Colin, Jake, and Sam to go see it in the theater Sunday night. Bro,
Is it good? I don't want to. I'm going to try.
no. I'm not talking about the new one. I'm talking about the original David Lynch.
Oh, the old. Ooh,
The original, the OG Dune.
yeah.
Dude, so much better on the big screen. Oh,
Is it?
I can explain.
yes. You know, and then after the movie was over, credits are rolling, and I'm kind of trying to get a, you know, I'm putting out some feelers here. We basically had a private screening because we were the only ones in the auditorium, which was nice.
Yeah, these guys.
These guys tried to double dip and sneak in with like 20 minutes in the movie left, and then the usher came in right after him and was like, "Yeah, you guys got to go." Oh yeah, the books are amazing. But you know, we're sitting there, and I'm like, "What'd you guys think?" And here's what Colin says. I mean, it wasn't terrible, and I'm sitting there going, "Really?"
I did. Okay, look, I had to rephrase it.
Yes, please do. It's called Damage Control.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Were there some parts where I'm like, okay, like, and there were some parts where I'm like, this is nasty. But I enjoyed watching it. Will I watch it again? Probably not. But
see, but in order for you to watch the new one, and then part 2 that is about to come out, you have to understand where everybody else that is a fan of that movie, everybody else that's a fan of that story, came from.
okay, I mean, I enjoyed it.
You know,
And
it's like
am
you
I
have
gonna
to
watch it
play.
again?
You have to play the original Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis to truly appreciate Mortal Kombat 11.
Yes.
Me personally, I don't really like Mortal Kombat 11 a lot.
I was making a point.
I know, but just like the combos are so short, and it's like
Oh.
so like. It's
By
so
the
like,
way,
janky. It's
By the way, so I know earlier Johnny had mentioned that we do, you know, a few minutes of show prep. just to catch up on things. And we both agreed that we were going to keep this one short.
We did, and here we are about to hit the 2-hour mark again.
I was just every single time it's just you and me. We're like, we're gonna keep this short. We're gonna burn through it. We're gonna be good. We'll be out of here hour at most. Every single time.
He's telling Colin to take it back about.
Okay, no. Listen to me.
Every single time we have
Out
gone.
of all the other games, besides one, like from 11 to all the way back to the original, and I will die on this hill.
Okay,
X was
all
the
right.
best.
Okay, all right,
the
all right,
best.
fine. You have your opinion.
11, the story was fine. It was good. But the combat system was not that great. The combos were short, and there were a lot of characters that were like for instance, Aaron Black.
Yeah.
Sits in a corner the entire game firing his rifle. And
look, you are entitled to your opinion. Chris, myself, and thousands of our brothers and sisters in arms served this country to where you could have that opinion, even though it's wrong.
No. Jake even agrees with me. X is so much better than 11 because okay. Not only does X have probably better guest characters, its combat is so much better.
Okay.
I like long combos. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy Mortal Kombat 1.
Right. Yeah, long combos. That's what she said too. So, but it is what it is.
Very funny.
It is.
You're not the only one that enjoys long combos.
I'm just saying. Right. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, regardless as to how warped or wrong it may be. Yeah.
Hey,
as a Mortal Kombat fan, I feel like you should understand where I'm coming from. It's like most combos last maybe like 10 hits.
listen, I can absolutely see where you're coming from. It
Hey,
helps.
look,
Appreciate
nobody is ever going to beat the 64 hit combo in Killer Instinct.
This is true. Oh God, that was such a good game.
Oh,
And again, I suck at fighting games, but I loved that game.
yeah.
I had that on PS1.
It came out on it came out on the N64. No, actually came out on the Super Nintendo. I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Did I have PS1 or N64? I don't
No,
remember.
it was a Nintendo exclusive.
Yeah,
Because it was
okay, so I had it on the
shareware.
64.
I
did have it on the 64.
I think I have one of the Killer Instincts.
He said, I feel like I know you and Chris well. David talks about the two of you all the time. I mean,
I am both flattered and
you're gonna hear a lot of things. Some of it may be true, some of it may be embellishments. But at the end of the day,
we're not going to acknowledge which ones are which either. You're going to have to figure that out on your own.
and I'm going to quote Harrison Ford from the movie Apocalypse Now. Due to the sensitive nature of your question, I'm not allowed to divulge certain facts or information about that incident had that incident actually taken place.
That's classified.
Yeah. But what I am allowed to divulge is that, yeah, David's going to talk a lot about people that he's secretly in love with. And I mean, if you've met us in real life,
that's a
I don't
secret.
blame him.
He doesn't keep it secret very well.
He's like, I think Johnny is my spirit animal. Dude, I'm going to tell you something. You need to raise your standards up a little bit there, man. I'm just kind of putting that out there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the day that somebody comes to me and says, you're my hero, I'm going to be like, holy shit, your life must have sucked. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God, who hurt you?
Right? You show me. You show me on Mr. McLean where the bad man touched you.
Since we don't have Bob Ross this week,
Oh,
you gotta show him. Good old John.
The forced sarcasm is strong. Yes, yes. I'm not saying that it is, but it is.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, we've hit the 2-hour mark officially. We've passed it, eclipsed it. 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah, I want to clarify this with you.
Yeah.
In one way or another, I'm going to make you watch Masters of Disguise.
All right, fine. I will watch Master of Disguise.
Yes.
I'll watch it. I'll concede that point. All right. I have prided myself on the fact that I have avoided watching this movie.
I envy you.
Okay, no, look, it's a bad movie.
It's horrible. It is.
But
Very,
it is
very
so. It's a funny movie to watch.
there is literally only one part of that movie that's even remotely amusing.
Your humor is just
It's
not
the truth,
understandable.
Is it the
Number one.
portion?
Number one. Turtle.
That's
And-
the only. Yes, that's the only part of the movie that's even remote.
Okay, well then your humor is piss.
All right,
Because
Doc, I'm
every
going to ask you
time,
a question.
no,
I'm
every
going to ask
time-
our audience member a question. Colin, hold on.
It's
We have the
Thank
hardest
you.
time trying to convince David to watch with any discernible amount of enthusiasm The Big Lebowski.
Listen, we are going to have to do what was the what was the Bird Box? The one with where they had holding the eyes open. We are literally going to have to do that, or the Clockwork Orange thing, where he's got his eyes.
He's
Right.
got the scapulas for the
Yes.
eyes. Yeah.
We are going to have to do that in order for David.
So I mean, if you have a more one-on-one in person type frequency
you have
with David,
any influence over him at all.
you're going to have to help us out here. I mean, you have already established that I am your spirit animal, and so therefore you look up to me to a certain degree. Don't let me down here. Don't let me down. It's a disservice because we have tell him it's corn. Yeah, absolutely. No, he knows because we've got this sound bite now for the show. Over the line, and he's like, whatever, dude. And I'm like, shut up, man. Obviously, you're not a golfer.
I wish I could remember what number it was, but Johnny and I actually sat there for like 30 minutes just doing lines back and forth.
We had it was a
him just
cohesive,
standing there.
fluent conversation
Yes.
using quotes from the movie.
Yes. A full-on 30-minute conversation of just back and forth, and he had no idea what
It
we were
is. That's the anomaly. That's the thing that just absolutely blows my mind is the fact that he generally has a good taste in movies.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he looks at this product that was brought forth to us by the Farley brothers and he says, nay. I don't understand it. It's almost as like
major pain. Fantastic. Absolutely the gold standard.
yeah, major
It's
pain.
such a- absolutely.
Let me tell you a little story.
I quoted that to my girlfriend's daughter tonight. We were sitting in the truck and she's like, my head is hurting. And I go, want me to show you a
Let me show you a little trick. Take your mind off that pain.
pain? And she's like, she's never seen the movie. And my girlfriend was like, yeah, she hasn't seen that, so she's not gonna get it. And she's like, but my head hurts. And I was like, well, just show me your fingers. She's like, no.
What is it? He goes, what are you, deaf, blind, and stupid? Do your dirt.
I'm gonna put my foot.
Hey,
up.
Junior, go get the hair clippers from Mama.
You dumb, you stupid, or you just plain deaf?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, he is deaf. Oh, thank you. Now give me 25 more for speaking out of line.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go watch that now. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh wait,
we used to just do that. Yeah, we do the entire movie.
You know what's funny is the fact that when that movie came out, right? And I went to basic like not too much longer after. Well, no, yeah, it was not too much longer after that movie came out. I went to basic,
Yeah.
and you could tell that the drill sergeants were just like they had just watched it. It's like working now, Chris. Now that you're in an office setting,
Uh-huh.
you have a shit day at work.
Oh,
Go
God.
home, watch Office Space, and then go to work the next day.
Yes.
You will go in there smiling, you will be on top of the world.
Yes.
Right. To me, I think Major Payne was for drill sergeants what Office Space is for office workers. Because, dude, one of them, he was a
Trying to
sniper.
tell Mama bring
He,
my
he was a sniper, and you could tell that he had a better relationship with whiskey than he did his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, he would roll in for PT, hung the fuck over, dude. Right?
Oh, we all know a bunch of girls like that.
Yeah.
First one,
Right?
too.
Like he would sleep in his car. Like, but for whatever reason, them BDUs were still pressed. Well, I'll tell you what. But I mean, he came in, and I mean, he would talk just like this, and he was white as the day is long.
I actually had a drill sergeant. Well, he was I believe he was first platoon's drill sergeant, and he looked, acted like he just giant black guy, looked just like him, sounded, but he had this really deep voice.
Yeah,
And it was the worst because I could never understand him.
Yeah, that was my senior drill. My name is SFC Low.
But he like much mouth.
Yes, drill sergeant or no drill sergeant. I remember, dude, I went to basic in July of 95. And I remember vividly, verbatim, meeting that man.
He had a low voice. It was real raspy, and then he mush mouthed. So
Well,
he like
Sergeant Lowe was like, he was 6'4", 6'5", lanky. All he had was an EIB, right? And I remember because I was in air assault school when I was at the 101st, right? I was in rappel phase, and I had to report back to my section leader, at the end of every day, right? And I've got my rappel rope, I've got my carabiner, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I've got my rucksack, and I'm reporting in after school and just letting them know, hey, here's what we're doing the next day. He reported. He said, "Yes, dear." It's it, Mandel. Yeah, no, we'll get. Oh, Doc, we're gonna have to have you on a show later.
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
Dude, I've got a story like that, but but I go in, and my section leader is in the orderly room, right? And he's like, "Skelton, I met somebody today that knows you," and I was like,
"Oh fuck,
I'm sure it's all lies, Sergeant." He's like, "No, I mean, they know you from way back," and I'm like, "Okay." And like I'm sitting here, I'm like still wet behind the ears, PFC. I've got my airborne, I've got my at this point, no, I didn't get my EIB yet, but he's like, he says he knows a lot of people. He said he knows Pickowitz and Guzman too, and I'm like, I could hear the wattage and the light bulb above my head start to build up. You
get that little buzz,
and then I hear it from around the corner and from the war room.
Oh,
I hear this. Skelton, is that you? I was like, Sergeant Lowe. I didn't even call him drill sergeant. I just said Sergeant Lowe, right? Because I mean, when we got done in basic, he
had
like,
the ground round on
anymore. Yeah,
still a drill sergeant.
He had just come off the trail.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But he was like, "So you done? Are you just about done?" I said, "I'm almost done, Sergeant." He goes, "You think you hot shit?" And I was like, "Sergeant, this is 101st, and you're a leader. You need to get your ass to air assault school." He's like, "Look that shit. I ain't getting my ass no damn helicopter." I was like, he goes, "I'm gonna hide out here till I fucking retire, and I'm gone." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, Sergeant." And he goes, "Don't make me skin your ass up. I already skinned up Pickowitz." And I was like, "Oh, what platoon are you in, Sergeant?" He goes, "2nd platoon." I was like, "Oh shit, that was Pickowitz's platoon." Right?
Maria.
And I think Guzman was in 5th platoon. He goes, "I skinned up Pickowitz. I skinned up Guzman. I'm gonna skin your ass up too." I was like, "You can't smoke a rock, Sergeant." And he says this to me. He goes, "No, but you can break it up into little pieces first." I said, "Do we need to have somebody gazing at your balls and meat while you pee in a cup, Sergeant?" He was like, "That's some gay shit right there."
Maria.
I was like, man, yeah.
You might want to go back and reread what you wrote, Maria.
Yeah. I was giving her a pass on that by not reading it out loud.
I'm gonna give her one chance, one only,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will absolutely be reading it because
Make it snappy because we gotta land this plane.
All right, where?
she did. She absolutely said it.
Yep, she did say that. All right. Well, here we go. Not sure I can handle 4 of you, but sounds hilarious. Oh man. I know. And to be fair, we didn't give her time for the lag.
No,
but,
Maria, I believe in you. I
Yeah.
absolutely believe in you.
I mean, she has the technology. She has.
She does. She
Yeah.
does, in fact, have the technology.
I mean, she can do it smarter, faster, longer.
She's
No, that's not the way. No,
Sure.
that's not the way it read.
okay. That's
When you read it in the original Greek, that's not the way it read.
the original Greek.
Yeah, I mean, she goes, "Oh wait, oh shit." Yeah.
Listen, we gave you a
She
head.
retranslated it back
There
to
it is.
Yeah. I just have this image of Maria down in the catacombs of the Vatican pulling scrolls of Aramaic out, going, "Oh my god, I said that." So,
Oh man.
but this has been episode 148. We are coming up fast on 150. 2 weeks from now.
Man, that's crazy. 150.
Yeah, 150. I mean, I think David tried to do one episode without me, and it did not go well. And I told him, I was like, "Look," I said,
I think me and him did an episode together, and it was
because I couldn't be there, and boy, it was rough.
it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is my child, right? I mean, this is my creation. This is my IP, right? And I told David, I was like,
There's a few episodes without you, I think.
"No, just the one."
No, because there's
One that I know of, at least in the
No, you're right. There's like 2 or 3.
yeah, not a lot.
Still,
I call it the modern era after I joined. That's
they call it the live ball era. That's what it's. Yeah,
there's only one that I know of without you.
right. And I told David, I was like, "Look," I said, "you can do the other shows without me, but it's
sports. It's got to be
the sports is kind of the thing. I mean, once you came in, and it lent some some validity to it if I weren't to be here, because you do actually watch sports. David, on the other hand, I love the guy to death. However, when we have to consistently explain seeding to him as it relates to sports, not corn. Yeah.
Bless his heart.
I mean, he said I can't spell sports, but at the same time, I'm thinking he's either screwing with us or that's autocorrect. I'm not sure. Insert your own Fry meme here, but Philip J. Fry. Anyway.
Squeeze, pull, observe, release, tap, squeeze.
Yeah. Sports, baby. It's funny. All right. So like the guy that built my house, the contractor that built my house, he still texts me whenever with like gun questions, right? He bought an M4, or it was an AR-15, but it was the long barrel. It was like an M16A2 variant, right?
Okay.
With the 203 attachment.
Why?
Because he got a great deal on it, right?
Okay.
And so I was like, "Man, bring it by the house. Let me see that thing." Sure enough, honest to God, U.S. government stamping on the 203 tube, right?
No way.
Yeah. I'm like,
now you know what was a great deal.
I'm sitting there going, "Oh man," and I'm telling you, he was asking me questions like, "Should I put a sight on this?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's got the old school carrying handle." No. Learn to fire through the iron sights.
Yes.
Before you do anything else. And I mean, because you got these guys nowadays that are like, oh, I can put a round through a flea's ass at 550 yards. Well, dude, that's because you got an ACOG.
Right.
We were doing that shit with iron sights
Yeah.
and a pro mask.
We didn't even get fucking we didn't get any fucking sights.
No, I mean the only sight that I had was the night sight tracker, or was the thermal sight on my tow system.
Yeah, the only sight we had was on the mortar. Yeah.
So, like, I'm sitting there going, we had pro masks, and we just flipped the rear sight aperture to make the hole just a little bit bigger.
Yep.
you know,
And those of us
it's like-
that weren't blessed with eyesight had to deal
Yeah.
with fucking
but you know,
glasses.
the other day he texted me because he got a deal on a Anderson, basically a budget pony, AR-15. It's the long barrel, but it had the M-lock on it, right?
Yeah.
It had a rail on top of the receiver, but the barrel had a free floating M-lock on there. And he's like, man, I want to go with quad rail. And I was like, before you start doing all that, man, he's asking me about sights. And I'm like, all right, dude, here. So I pointed him in the direction of the 6-hour Romeo 5 red dot. Solid red dot. Nothing really huge expensive.
Right. Won't break the bank. Yeah.
Yeah, it won't break the bank, right? I mean, because it doesn't do you any good to have $1,800 worth of equipment on a rifle if you don't know how to use it. Spend that $1,800
on ammo.
Well, yeah, on ammo and training.
Yep.
Learn how to use it.
Exactly.
And then you can start dressing it up, and you can start like modifying your game. Yeah, putting 11 pounds of crap on an 8-pound weapon. Yeah, I mean, I've got an AR. I've got an Armalite 15 or Armalite X15. I put a floating quad rail on there, and I've got a 6-hour on there, but I want to swap it out with something different. But I've got the Magpul rear pop up in case the sight goes down. Easy peasy, right? I've got that Magpul angled foregrip, for the ergonomics.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically about it. I've got the tactical single point sling on there, and I mean, most of my money, as far as like kit wise that I've got, I spent on my plate carrier. But
I can say that.
Hey, we're at.
Yeah, we are. So we're gonna go ahead and land this plane. No, pop-ups are not canned. If the sight goes down, all I got to do is just pop the quick release and just dump the sight. And it's easy peasy. And yes, my pop-up sights, my pop-up is zeroed to my front sight post. Yeah, so we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I apologize for Chris. No, you didn't keep us. We just have a serious lack of self-control.
Yeah, we do this every single time.
Yeah.
150 is going to be the one, like.
Yeah, 150 is going to be the one where we come in under 2 hours. So yeah.
An hour and 59 minutes.
And that's going to be the show that's got the most like enriching content. But
right.
With that being said,
I'm going to have to get the holy grail of jokes for that episode.
Yeah, you better start watching.
Yeah.
Start searching now.
The next show, more than likely, it's going to be on Monday. Every Nerd Sports here, I think for the last 3 or 4 months has been live.
We
started going to the live format.
No, we've been doing longer than that.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, you're right. About 6 months.
Yeah, it's been
we've been doing quite a few.
Yeah, but yeah, all the Nerd Sports shows are going to be live. Usually we try to do them on Mondays. 7:30 is usually when we kick off an hour or so. But with that being said, thank you for enduring this slogging battle of attrition here. I feel as though we've waged a losing battle, like PC and PS or PlayStation players for Helldivers 2.
I've heard a lot of things.
Automaton. We were on the Automaton planet for sure.
Hey,
I haven't played that game. Is it? I don't.
It looks good, but I
Everything
just started Red Dead 2. I bought the Ultimate Edition for $30. I have it on. I got it on sale.
I'm
You've
fixing.
never played it before?
Oh, I
I'm
have,
Oh, okay.
but I'm playing it on my Series X.
I'm fixing to get
So good.
the Ultimate Edition for $30. Borderlands 3 for Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for allowing us to assault your souls without permission and allowing my son to come in and set things wrong that had been once set right.
Love that.
Maria,
Also-
Doc, we appreciate you guys being here.
I
If
think
you were in the audience and you did not sound off, shame on you for not joining in on the conversation. But with that being said, at the 2-hour, 23-minute, and 8-second mark, my name is Johnny Skelton,
My name is Chris Jacka.
Colin Skeleton.
and this has been your pleasure, your privilege, and our indentured servitude duty to bring you episode 148 of Nerd Sports.
Like, share, and
And-
subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. Even if you don't think that we were worth it, do it just the same, because that's what your mother would make you do, like eating your broccoli. Everybody else, scissor me timbers.
Or
Hit the, yes, no, I hit the end button and it never seems to work. But
it takes like
It-
it
30
does. It takes
seconds.
forever. But yeah, here we go.
So what you're
Link-
saying is
Yeah.
we are the broccoli of the podcast.
I think is this the
We
longest?
don't smell good, but we're good for you.
There you go.
Is this the longest we've gone?
I think this is the longest it's taken to actually quit the life.
Well, not quit the thing. I'm talking about like.
Oh,
the longest.
Actually,
Oh, no. There have
oh.
been some definite marathons before. I think we've had a 3-hour episode once.
I think we were pretty close on one.
Yeah, we were pretty close there. But anyways, scissor me timbers, everybody.
Oh, is it gonna end?
Oh, fine, whatever. Just make sure that before you go to bed, pull out the splinters and learn from history. Don't run with scissors. And if you're a lesbian with diarrhea, don't scissor with the runs.